Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over oil and gas, do some technical analysis. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see levels that are breaking and continued movement up, which can show us that we've got strength in the charts and that our viewpoint, at least on the big overall picture, is correct. And I think we've got the direction, obviously, right. And I think oil is going to continue to move higher from Hurricane Ida, from supply-demand characteristics. I also think that we've started commodity booms at the beginning of expansion phases of real estate. Every single time where the valuation's cheap for commodities, and that gets revalued during that time frame. So I think everything's in alignment for a move higher in oil and natural gas. And that's why I'm so confident and like this sector so much. We're also seeing a positive development in the gold to oil ratio. And that's compressing, which means that we're seeing oil outperform gold. And we could be breaking the bottom trend line, basically signaling that we're going into a commodity boom. So I don't have the ratio chart up here, and I chart that all the time. You guys, if you're interested in following me, go to Twitter at @finding_finance. So at @finding_finance. And you can, I post a lot of this stuff up there, and you can look at the charts and get your own opinion and while looking at them. So I'll give you my financial opinion here. Please don't use it as advice. And here we go. So here's oil and gas. So looking at West Texas Intermediate crude, we are at its highs, 52-week highs, and we're trying to break through it. That's where we're at. We're just hitting our head on it. And we could develop a little U-shaped cup, like a cup and handle pattern. It basically did it here. We hit our heads a couple times, came down a little bit, and then broke through it. I think the same thing's going to happen. We develop these patterns and break through the patterns. Natural gas is on fire. We've been moving on higher, and it's been getting more and more volatile. It may cool off a little bit, maybe not. But I try to remain pretty open. We've got a little bit of wick on the top. Sometimes that means that it could be a short-term top. But I think overall during the bull market, natural gas will do very well. So here's SM Energy. We're bumping up on this 52-week high, and it's just trying to break through it. Are we going to go straight through it? I don't know. We could do a little U-shaped cup, do like a cup and handle within another cup and handle. So, I mean, I think SM Energy, it's one of my favorite companies. I think it'll do well. And I think we've got a lot of support under here where this thing based out for a while. We've got CDEV. CDEV is another one that I like. It's one of my favorite companies. We're trying to break through this sticky area over here, and we're getting above it. We're probably going to move on higher because we've got big up days and small little down days. The buyers are in control. Callon Petroleum, we've got a nice big move here. A little bit of a selling pressure here. We've got a little bit of resistance through here that we're trying to break through, but we'll get through it. Give it some time. It may go sideways a little bit before moving up. Here's Crescent Point Energy, another company that I recently purchased in here. We hit our head here, We got some resistance in this 460 to 480 range. We're trying to break through it. Stepping back a little bit, this is your Crescent Point chart pattern for a couple of years. It's almost like a shoulder, head, shoulder type pattern developing. We chilled out here for a little bit. We're probably going to chill out here for a little bit and eventually break through it. I've got this blue line up here. That is the projected move from this bottom to this peak here. And then I put it on top. It's quite a bit higher from where we are today. So I think this is a big, huge bottoming process, and I think we're about to get launched out of it. And then I bought a little bit of Crescent Point recently. Another one I bought recently is Northern Oil and Gas. If you do the pattern here, You can see the pattern here. It's almost like a shoulder, head, shoulder that's developing. We broke this trend line here. You could see we hit it. We did a little U-shaped pattern, broke out, did a little bit of a back test almost, and now we're heading up. And this is almost like a cup and handle pattern as well, or like a head and shoulder, like a shoulder, head, shoulder. But it's developing something very close to crescent points. And we got the big bullish engulfing right here. This is a weekly candlestick, so this thing is ready to try to break through. We'll have to see if it does it. Comstock Resources, this is another one that is incredibly cheap. I think it's decent for the bull market. I talked about it before when it was over here somewhere. I think it was right in here. And I know some people bought in. You guys, just buy this stuff and hold on. This isn't difficult. It's not rocket science. Just the value here is incredible. We break out, and don't be afraid if this thing comes back and does a retest, back test somewhere in this range. Don't be afraid of it. Just let it do its thing, and I'm gonna pick up a lot more shares if it comes back to $7. Here's Crew Energy. It's been cruising on higher. It's part of the crew in my portfolio, and I'm just holding on and enjoying the ride. I think I bought it at 33 cents. Is where I bought it, like right somewhere in here. I got lucky. I know. Tellurian, another one that I own, and I'm just holding on. You got the double hump. Usually the double hump, and then it goes sideways for a little bit, and then moves on higher, hopefully. So that looks good. Here's Grand Tierra, kind of this like cup and handle pattern developing. But we did break this downtrend line. I can move it for you guys to show you what I'm talking about. There we go. This pattern in here almost, somewhere. We broke through, kind of back test, and now I think we're going to move higher. That's my guess. Contango doing like a shoulder, head, shoulder with a triple bottom. I'm holding on to this, guys, and we're just putting in the shoulder pattern. Once we break, well, I don't know what that is, $5, $6 or something, we'll be off to the races. It'll look good. I got in at $1.32, I think. Lucky me. Now, Recon Africa, this Reconnaissance Energy Africa, this one looks good. We're coming right to the tip. This is the tip of the tip. And today, I want to show you guys something here. If I'm going to yank this thing and just move it over and zoom in. And what we see here is we got this bottom here. We're coming into a dead period. I call this the dead period where the buyers equal the sellers. And what happens is you get a little bit of volatility moving back and forth. And then all of a sudden the buyers equal the sellers. We come to a dead period where it goes sideways. That's what this sideways movement is. I call this the dead period. This is where big moves happen. And if you look, we get this double hump. And I'm going to see, before this, we have this like one hump, two hump, and then it goes. And this is the dead period right here that you're looking at before. So you get this volatility, it shakes itself out, and then you basically hit a spot where it just flatlines. You put in a bullish engulfing pattern here, and then it's like, we're going to launch, boom, there's the launch. I think we're kind of doing something very similar to this right now. As we came down, we reversed here with the wicks on the bottom, which means that this day came back up. The sellers could not push this any lower. We popped higher with big buying pressure all in one day. Volume's okay. We came back down. Wick on the bottom here. There's good buying pressure at 450 down here. We are getting good buying pressure at 475, 495, and even $5. The buyers are there. I don't think the sellers can push this any lower. I think it's flatlining. And we're about to move on up. I'm looking for a break to the upside. I'm getting real bullish. You guys, again, this is a volatile exploration company. If you are going to go into this, make sure you put an amount where if this thing goes in the opposite direction, it doesn't hurt your portfolio too bad. But if it goes to the upside, I think we could see a good move higher. And go to their website, go look at their presentations on Recon Africa. They are a small exploration company. It's about $1 billion in market cap, and they could have something pretty substantial. Look at the people who are backing the company, the institutions. Look at what the plan they're putting together on their joint ventures of commercializing this. Just take a look. Doesn't mean that there's a bunch of short sellers trying to push this thing lower, and I think it's based off of false information. Just the recap is. I think they did a good job of pushing this lower from $11 down to $5. And if the story is true, and I think it is, because if you look and you do some research, you wouldn't have these large institutions backing them. You wouldn't have a joint venture plan all mapped out if you were faking this. So I am of the ilk, I guess, that if they went to this measure and they can accurately describe what they're describing in some of their presentations that they've done, I think they're probably legit. And if they're legit and they do have that much oil anywhere near where the estimates could potentially be, I mean, this thing is massively underpriced. Absolutely massively underpriced. If they have all that. Now, if the short sellers are right, then you know what? I took the chance. But I mean, there is risk here. It is an exploration company. The way I'm viewing it is that the institutions have done their homework, which therefore, if I can see institutions buying it like Goldman and whatnot, they're probably right. They've probably done their homework quite substantially and have gotten in there and talked to management, which means that this thing could be a very big find. Hopefully it is, and hopefully we hit a number that's far greater than where we are today. If you guys like this type of analysis, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.